You're listening to the Jonesy and Amanda podcast.
When there is big issues to discuss, we go down to the Jonesy and Amanda Arms for
The pub test.
Pub test.
Does not pass the pub test. Pub test.
Pub test.
Does it pass the pub test? Pub test.
Yeah, the pub test.
Doesn't pass the sniff test. Stop it. It's not helpful.
And today, which team passes the pub test? By that I mean Team Brooklyn Beckham or the Beckhams themselves.
Well, Brooklyn Beckham has come out overnight on his socials with some pretty damning stuff about the performative nature of his family, how it's all about the brand. He said, "I've been controlled by my parents for most of my life. I grew up with overwhelming anxiety. For the first time in my life since stepping away from my family, that anxiety has disappeared." That's pretty harsh.
Up until that point, and I would imagine most men think this, they just say, well, good on you, mate. You come from a billionaire family, you're marrying into a billionaire family. You're going to be okay.
Doesn't make someone happy.
But little Nepo babies have feelings too. No, I'm just saying the kid's not going to be struggling for a meal.
But the people have loved the Beckhams, and the publicists have been working very hard to curate who the Beckhams are.
Yep.
And he was saying, don't believe all that you see. They've been hugely difficult with me in recent years, and they've tried to ostracise my wife from the family.
And when you talk about that damning evidence, this is what really hit home for me. Victoria Beckham was, up until that point, I thought she was the one that wanted the wedding dress. Victoria's making this wedding dress, and then you dropped the information.
Well, we were told at the time that Nicola Peltz had just decided to go with a different designer. But Brooklyn has said no, Mum was making it and pulled out at the last minute. And so that's what had happened. A number of things he talks about, it all being brand Beckham, and they don't support you if you don't toe the line. So how do you feel? This is what the pub test is asking today. Which team are you on, Team Beckham or Team Brooklyn?
I'm in favour of old mate. I think he's copped a raw deal. He might have a lot of money, but he didn't choose what family he got born into, did he?
I'm definitely Team David and Victoria, to be honest. I feel it reeks of entitled brat, what he's saying.
It sounds like they're a toxic family, and it's about time Brooklyn stands up for himself and basically tells his family where to go if they're treating him the way they are.
I actually love David and Victoria equally. However, I actually believe him every single word because I myself am living proof of just what families can do and how much they can lie. I don't have like a famous family. However, the facades that certain members of my family have been living and portraying, a lot of people need to know that they're not actually the people that they seem to be.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, a lot of people are affected by this. Adults going no contact with their parents. This is something that seems to be big.
And even though you're a big Richie,
it's
it
nothing
might be
to
tough.
do with that.
No,
of course it is.
You don't have to be on the bones of your bum.
No, everyone always thinks if you've got a lot of money, life's easy. Look what Brooklyn's saying. No.